George Kittle is doubtful for Sunday, and I was almost doubtful to make this show tonight. I apologize, but we're here. Better late than ever. How's everybody going? How's everybody doing? It's Friday night. It's probably Saturday, close to some places. What 8:46 p.m. Pacific. It's almost Saturday in some places. How we doing? We got a game on Sunday, and I can't wait. I hope we get a dub. At LA Rams, Niners are a 6.5 point favorite on the road. Is it really a road game? They're wearing their home red jerseys. You gotta love it. You gotta love that they're gonna be the petty kings. The Rams said they're gonna wear white jerseys at home. Come on, the Niners are really a home. It's gonna be like 64% Niner fans. I love it, man. I love the fact that the Niners always take over SoFi Stadium. But this game, if you would have told me a couple of weeks ago, a couple months ago, that there's not going to be Cooper Cup, Puka Nakua, most of the Rams offensive line and secondary, um, no George Kittle. I mean, he's doubtful. I don't think he's playing. No Debo Samuel. No Christian McCaffrey. I would have said there's no way. And obviously no Dre Greenlaw. But this is crazy. It's a crazy, type of game. You're gonna have to grind it out. The 49ers still have squad full of dogs. They still got Juwan Jennings. They still got Brandon Ayuk. They still have Brock Purdy. They still have Trent Williams. They still have Jordan Mason. They still have Nick Bosa. They still have Fred Warner. Mooney Ward's questionable, but he should be there. Nick Bosa, he ended up on the injury report this weekend with the rib injury he had in practice, but he should play. He's questionable. We'll see, though, how Sunday goes. It's a lot of ailing players on this game. Again, it's going to be one of those grinded out games, and teams can't make mistakes. The Rams' backs are against the wall. This is a must-win game for the Rams. It's crazy. It's like the injury ball, it says Caesar. It really is. It's baffling. So early. Like this season has been marred by so many injuries. There's been soft tissue injuries all over the league, not just the Niners, not just the Rams. Like all over the league, you see players getting banged up, hurt. It's just that's football, man. The game is physical. It takes a toll, and these injuries just pop up every time. It is going to be a strange game, workaholic. um, Injury reserve versus injury reserve game. I saw some meme today on Twitter with like the Rams logo like in a wheelchair, and then the Niners IR in a wheelchair. I was like, it's funny, but at the same time, it's not so funny. But both teams limping in this game. They need a win. The Niners can't. They don't. They can't afford to lose this. The Rams can't afford to lose this. They both need a win because the Seahawks are 2-0 right now. They've got, an early lead in the division, and you can't lose division games. Like you could lose a few games here and there. The Niners lost to the Vikings last week. We wish they would have won. But if you lose to the Rams, that's bad. That's bad news, right? So we'll see. It's gonna be tough. But you know what? There is positive news. As tough as this week has been, and injury reports, you guys saw the reports. You guys were sick to your stomach every time I posted an update on Instagram and Twitter. But let me tell you this. Talanoa Hufanga is coming back, man. John Lynch said he's going to be a little bit on a pitch count, which is understandable. It's his first game back from a torn ACL last year, and he's playing on turf. You do need to put him on a pitch count, but man, he's so ready. I don't know if you guys saw, when he was being interviewed in the locker room the other day, and he says, I don't even think my all pro season was good. He said it was mediocre. Bro, that season was so good. He was an all pro. He was so damn good that year. Like he carried us in many games. Like he had a lot of interceptions, the pick six, right? You remember that? Pick six against the Rams. Like there were so many big moments. And he said it was mid, it was mediocre. If that's his mentality, I can't wait to see what he thinks a good season is. And he's going to strive for the best. I'm excited for Hufanga's return. Like this is going to be the cool story of the week. Is Talanoa Hufanga coming back? The Niners, they're ailing, and if he can make a big, like if Talanoa Hufanga makes a big play this weekend, oh my God, people are going to go out of their mind because he is a fan favorite player. We got the Huff shirt. We got the Huff shirt. He's such a fan favorite player, and he's got a good mentality. He's a great dude. And I think a lot of players are going to be, feeding off his energy. Because when you come back from an injury, I'm sure you're juiced. I'm sure he's going to be rolling with adrenaline. And I'm excited for Talanoa Hufanga. So another guy I'm excited to see on Sunday is Fred Warner. This man owns the Rams. Like this guy makes a case of just crushing them every time he plays the Rams. You remember in 2019, he had that pick six. Fred Warner with the baby dreads. I posted it on Instagram, a little throwback picture, little throwback post. Like, it's crazy to see how far he's come. In his second year, he was already like taking the league by storm. And every year he just got better and better. And now you look at him and you're like, this guy's like the complete package at linebacker. He's so good. He's a future Hall of Famer, like without a doubt. He's such a good player, unbelievable linebacker. The instincts, everything he does. Like we all know, last week he put this team on his back, right? Put this team on his back. And now Fred Warner, with all these injuries on the offense, you know Fred's gonna dig deep and he's gonna try to make sure that the Niners don't lose. Like he's one guy every week he comes to play. Like he doesn't want the Niners to lose every single week. And I love Fred for that. Like Fred Warner digs deep. He's like a guy that you just know he always cares. Like sometimes you feel like some players are kind of lollygagging or like sissy footing it. Like I saw some film today. I think John Chapman threw it on Twitter of Javon Hargrave just like standing around on a couple plays. Like he took a few plays off. Fred Warner never takes a play off, man. He is the definition of a grinder, of a just consummate professional. He's so good. He loves playing football. He makes his team better. And Julius says he's the DPOY. Workaholic says he's the DPOY. I think so too. I think Fred Warner deserves it. Right now, early favorite. I mean, it's a long season. We'll see how he goes. But if he continues to play like he did, I mean, he's defensive player of the year. And it's crazy because people were saying he got snubbed this week for defensive player of the week. Look, man, the safety from the Falcons, he deserved it. I mean, they played a tough game against the Eagles. I mean, also he had some of the big plays of the game, and you can argue because that team won. The Falcons won that Monday night game. A lot of people are like, "Oh, Fred Warner got snubbed." I mean, I don't think so. If the Niners would have won that game, and it would have been because of Fred Warner against Minnesota. He definitely would have deserved Defense Player of the Week. But it doesn't matter because we know how good he is. He's like just everywhere on the field, and without Dre Greenlaw, he's playing as it's crazy. It's like he's playing because he knows he misses Greenlaw on the field, so he's playing like extra good. Like he's good, but now he's extra good out there. Like I don't know if you guys noticed, but he's playing like double good because he's trying to make up for the loss of Greenlaw. That's what I noticed. Like Devondre Campbell, he's just not Dre Greenlaw. We knew this coming into the season. He's okay. He's okay, but he's not as quick. He's not as aggressive as a Greenlaw type guy. So Fred Warner is making up for that. And man, every time he gets close to the ball, he's trying to punch that out, and I love that. I think Fred Warner is going to have a forced fumble. Like he's going to have a forced fumble this weekend. If he doesn't, I'll be surprised. But hey, Niners, Rams, you know it's always a dogfight. These two teams hate each other. The coaches, they got a history together. We all know they both coached in Washington. The family, the coaching tree. They'll probably talk about it on Sunday before the game, as they always do. So I'm sure they'll post about it. I'm surprised they haven't posted about, oh, the Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay, they were in Washington. Now look at everybody else that was on Washington. It's like a scheduled post, right? So good to see that. And then speaking of linebackers, Julius said it in the comments. He says, D Winner's time at linebacker? I hope so. He's supposed to come back and make his return to the 49ers. He dealt with some, injuries there, but he was off the injury list today. He's going to play. D Winters is expected to play. And I really like what I saw of this guy, in the offseason and preseason. And he's a really good linebacker. We saw him. He made the team. We were really excited when he was drafted last year. And he's made his way up the rankings, in linebacker room with the 49ers. He's a younger guy. He's quick. He's agile. That's the type of guy you want. A guy that's explosive, can go sideline to sideline. He's learning from the best, Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw. So I want to see D Winters right now until Dre Greenlaw comes back. But again, they're probably gonna go with the veteran Devondre Campbell and see if D Winters can ease himself in there. But I do want to see a lot of D Winters. So a couple other guys that are probably gonna have to step up. Chris Conley, right? Without Debo, without George Kittle, you're gonna have to see Chris Conley step up. He was a really big player in the playoffs. Jacob Cowling, he might get some opportunities. Kyle said, he really wants him to focus on the return game, but he might get a couple opportunities. I wouldn't be surprised if they threw a jet sweep or two to Cowling. Maybe Garendo get a few runs in there to take some pressure off of JP Mason, but JP Mason's going to have to shoulder this game. He's going to have to really run down their throats. It's going to be the JP Mason type game. Run, run, run. Open up that play action and help Brock Purdy. You got to take pressure off Purdy because they're going to be coming. You don't have Kittle to chip block. You don't have Debo who can set the motion and get people off their zones and everything. Debo really confuses the defense when he's there just by pre-snap. And then, Christian McCaffrey, same thing. Team stack the box. You don't have that presence of CMC who can catch and run and play in the slot and do it all. So they have to get a little bit more creative now with Brandon Ayuk on the outside. They got to get Brandon Ayuk involved. You absolutely have to get the $120 million man. $30 million a year. Brandon Ayuk, this is it. If you can't have a good game without all those guys mentioned, Debo, Christian McCaffrey, Kittle, I don't know when you can. Like, I get it. You might be rusty. I get it. Your chemistry might be off of Brock, but this is the game. Go out there and make that money. Earn that shit. I need Brandon Ayuk to step up. And you know who else I think is going to have a good game that has been stepping up? Jawan Jennings. Jawan Jennings, man, you know he comes prepared. You know he has, like, that ability to just stand up and tear people up. I think Juwan Jennings is going to have a nice game. It's going to be tough though without Kittle because he does so much in the blocking game. That means Kyle Juszczyk's going to have to use a lot, be utilized for his blocking this week. More so, he always gets used in the blocking game, but now he's going to have to kind of take that Kittle role in the blocking game, and we'll see. And I really hope that the offensive line can improve this week because last week that offensive line, even Trent Williams didn't look good. So they need to protect Brock Purdy. Brock was sacked so many times last week. He was on his ass. He was trying to make, heroic plays on the run, and then he made bad decisions. We got to protect Brock. We got to let him make sound decisions, and Brock Purdy cannot be on his ass. And he can't be trying to play hero ball. I don't want to see Brock Purdy, forcing it like he did last week. He can't do it. Can't do it. And a lot of haters are going to be watching this game for Brock Purdy to make mistakes. You got to realize Brock Purdy's a guy that they said he needs the Avengers. He has a supporting cast. Well, now he's going to be without most of that cast. He still has good players, right? He still has Jawan, Brandon Ayuk, Jordan Mason, Chris Conley, right? They're still weapons. Jacob Cowing, if they want to use them. They still have a good team. Like, they were great, and now they're good. They were great. Now they're good. They're good. They're still good. Still got good weapons. So it's not that he doesn't have any, but a lot of that, greatness is off the roster. So now people are going to be watching. All eyes are going to be on Brock Purdy this weekend to see if he makes mistakes, to see if he can take this team and win. They're going to keep moving the goalposts. Anytime Brock Purdy plays good, they'll have some reason. Oh, well, it's because of this. If he plays bad, well, I told you so. He sucks now. Look, they didn't have CMC. They didn't have Debo. They didn't have Kittle. And he played bad. So if he plays bad, the media is coming for his neck. I got to see Brock tear it up to prove those haters wrong. So Workaholic says we can lose 2 games in a row. We can, but we don't want to. We don't want to lose a game to the Rams. You don't want to lose these early games because you don't know what's going to happen later in the season. You don't know how the injuries are going to pile up. This is a prime opportunity for the 49ers to win without their stars in the next couple of weeks. They got the Rams who are beat up. You can't lose to a beat up Rams team. You got the Patriots who you should be able to beat. They just got, beat by the Jets who you beat a couple of weeks ago, right? And then they got the Cardinals. I know the Cardinals are looking good. They're the upstart kids, but you should be able to beat the Cardinals, regardless if you have some of these key players. Like, the Cardinals are going to be tough. It is a division game. The 49ers should be they're a Super Bowl contending team. So these next couple of games, you got to be able to win. Now, if you lose to the Rams and then you lose to the Cardinals, that's 2 division games early in the season. It's 2 early games early in the season that you can't afford to lose. So we'll see. Julia says a lot of Purdy's interceptions tend to be tipped. Yeah, I've noticed that too. Hopefully that he doesn't get anything tipped and he makes sound decisions. I don't want to see any interceptions this week. Julia says Feliciano at center when he comes back. Hopefully, because Jake Brendel did not play great at all this weekend. He was just battered up. I know there was a lot of people on Twitter bashing him, and he's got to step it up. That's it. Film don't lie. But you know what? This week, 49ers have a good opportunity to come out with the dub on the road, and again, with their injured player. So I don't know what you guys think. What are your guys' predictions? I have the 49ers winning. Now, the spread is 6.5. I think it's going to be a grind out game. I could see them winning big, but I don't think. I think it's going to be like a 5-point game. I think the 49ers win by 4 or 5 there. I think it's going to be maybe 27 to like 23. I don't know why. I think both teams are just going to be able to grind it out, run the ball well. Should be some turnovers on both sides. I got Talanoa Hufanga making a big play on his return. It's going to hype up the defense. I think the defense is going to play really exciting football because they got Hufanga back. And, last week they got beat by Justin Jefferson. And a lot of people criticized them. The secondary took a big, lashing over the week. So I do have the 49ers winning this game 27 to 23. That's what I got. I mean, 23 is a lot for me to think about the Rams scoring this week because they don't even have Cooper Cup and Puka. But again, it is a rivalry game and crazy things happen. And McVay knows how to play the Niners. I think they'll score. And again, backs against the wall. They've got adversity. And I don't know. I just feel it's going to be a weird game. But the 49ers have the home field advantage here. Home field advantage on the road. You got to love it. You got to love that the fact the 49ers are a road team and they're going to be wearing their home jerseys. Like it's like tradition now. The 49ers are petty kings. You go on the road and you wear your home jerseys. You got more fans on the road. And I think the Niners are going to thrive off that. Brock Purdy talked about it, how he said, I love the fact that the 49ers fans are out here, appreciate the faithful, we love the support. And they do, man. The 49ers love the support, and it helps them. It helps them. So I'm excited for this one, man. I think it's going to be a big one. I think the 49ers are going to make the dub. I think they're going to, weather the storm. It's going to be tough. Again, no George Kittle, no Debo Samuel, no CMC. Bosa's questionable, but I think he will play. Charvarius Ward is questionable, but I think he will play. I think they're just being precautionary and safe with those guys. But you never know. We'll wait till Sunday to get a final word. But questionable is usually a good sign. Doubtful, that's never that good of a sign. But questionable, typically those players play. Now, I just hope they stay healthy and don't have any more injuries. That's the other thing. I don't want any more injuries on this team. I want the 49ers to be able to get through this week. No more injuries. Let everybody that's injured heal up because we can't afford any more injuries, ladies and gentlemen. We really can't. We just cannot afford another injury because if we do, then it's just come on, man. I don't know. Like we've had people are saying we got the Madden curse. People are saying we have Super Bowl hangover. I don't want any of that. I don't want any of that. 62% of the fans will be 49er fans. That's what the reports are saying. Rocking red jerseys. It's going to be a red out. It's just crazy. Every time I've been to SoFi Stadium, there's barely any Rams fans. They pump in the crowd noise. It's so generic in SoFi Stadium. It's a pretty stadium, but it's a generic stadium. So my man 49ers Media said, this is giving me 2020 vibes. What's up, 49ers throwback? He says, dang, he found me. Good stuff, man. Yeah, a lot of people are saying it's giving 2020 vibes because in 2020 season, they got a lot of injuries. Now, let's not say that. I don't want to jinx this team. I don't want to say that because in 2020, we got some really, really bad injuries, like season ending with Bosa. Knock on wood, that doesn't happen. But we have had quite a bit of injuries. Now, you got to realize George Kittle, Debo Samuel, they get these little injuries often, hamstring tightness, calf tight. They have these little lingering issues throughout the season. They're going to miss a couple of games. At least it's early. We haven't had a major like ACL tear or anything, knock on wood, that we don't have anymore, and or any this season. So we'll see. But yeah, Christian McCaffrey injury, that's pretty concerning. Hopefully he can heal up and be back when they expect him. I don't know, man. Those Achilles injuries are a little rough. So, man, don't tell me about 2020 vibes. That season, I try to forget about that season. That season was so bad because I remember 2019 was like amazing. Oh my God, 2019 was a vibe. It was like, oh my God. And then we get the Super Bowl, of course. We know what happened. I'm not going to sit there and relive that. So close. We were so close. And then 2020 came and it was a nightmare. It was a freaking nightmare. Nightmare. So let's hope that this season doesn't go down the same path as 2020 because that was the most depressing season. And there wasn't even fans in the stadium. You couldn't even watch the games. You had to have a cardboard cutout to go watch the game. I remember I bought one of those cardboard cutouts to go, in Levi Stadium. I was like, that's depressing. And my boy called me, like, did you get your cardboard cutout in Levi's? I was like, yeah, I'll be at the Rams game. That's crazy. That's how it was. That was crazy. But yeah, anyway, do you guys drop your predictions? I want to read some predictions about this game. I gave you my prediction, 27-23. What do you guys think about the 49ers versus Rams? Who do you think is going to stand out? I think that the big star is going to be Juwan Jennings and Jordan Mason. I think they're going to be the 1-2 punch. I think Mason and Brock Purdy are definitely going to continue to, light it up, and they both lead the league. Well, Jordan Mason's number 2 in rushing. Jordan Mason's number 2 in rushing, right behind J.K. Dobbins, right? Brock Purdy leads the NFL in passing. It's 550 yards. I think both of those two are going to continue to cook. I got a big game from Jennings. I got him having a touchdown. I hope Brandon Ayuk can have a big game. I at this point, I don't know. I'm not giving up on him, but I just need him to step up, man. He just body language sometimes tells me that he just not there yet. You guys watched the Debo Samuel show with Brandon Ayuk on Tuesday, and I don't know. Ayuk's body language was a little off, but hopefully he gets it right. And he knows, like Brandon Ayuk knows he has a massive opportunity. There's no Debo, no CMC, no Kittle. He can be the man. He's always talked about how he's the 4th option, right? Remember he tweeted out last year, the number 4th option, and I was this, that. He showed all his stats. Now he's the number 1 option this weekend. No excuses. Go out there and grind it out for us. Show us what you got, baby. Show us why they paid you $30 million in the offseason. So Julius says 26-19. Steven Reynolds says Brock will get 3 passing touchdowns to Ayuk 2 and Jennings 1. I like it. Brandis says 26-12 Niners. Throwback says we smacking the Rams. 49ers win 21-17 by Workaholic. 49ers throwback says 38-17. My man 49ers media says I'm very happy to see that Cowing could get some offensive snaps. I do too. I'm excited. I think that they're going to give him like a jet sweep or 2. Not a lot. They're going to do a little jet sweep right, jet sweep left, and then he'll be returning punts. But I want to see him get his hands on the ball and maybe make a nice little play. So we'll see. And you know what? It's 49ers versus Rams. Kyle Shanahan versus Sean McVay. You know, both of these guys are going to try to one-up each other. They're going to try to throw the kitchen sink out. They're going to try to some trick plays. Just watch. I think Kyle's going to pull out a trick play. Sean McVay's going to try to pull out a trick play. That's what these teams do. Niners and the Rams, they always pull out the kitchen sink. It's going to be some fun plays out there. I'm so hyped up, man. I got to see the Niners take care of the Rams. And I want to see Brock Purdy silence the haters. Wear that backwards hat and tell Colin Cowherd, shut it. But yeah, we'll see. I think Nick Bosa is going to go crazy if he plays, which he should. But I think defensively, Talanoa Hufanga makes a big play. Don't sleep on Diamond Lenore last year against the Rams. Cooked them. I got Diamond Lenore making a big play. I think Hufanga is going to be hyped up. The adrenaline is going to be rolling, and I think he makes a nice play. And of course, Fred Warner got him coming up for a forced fumble. I really think he's going to get another forced fumble. The guy's incredible. But yeah, I got a touchdown or 2 to Jennings. I think Brandon Ayuk scores a touchdown, and Jordan Mason will run in a touchdown. That's who's scoring to me. Let's see. Niners going to take care of business. I hope that Brock Purdy doesn't throw any interceptions. Would be nice. My man 49ers media says Jennings touchdown pass. Could you see a little trick play? Jennings throws a touchdown pass. Brandon Ayuk in the end zone. Touchdown 49ers. That might be it. Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to do it for tonight. Sorry I was so late. I'm going to go and make the show a little short tonight because it's been a long day, but I appreciate you guys. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Niners are going to take care of business. 27-23 over the Rams in SoFi Stadium, a.k.a. Levi South. Let's go, Niners. Take care of business. Let's go. Let's have a 2-1 start to the season, and let's get a victory Monday. We'll talk to you guys later. Have a great night. Love ya. Bang, bang. Niner gang.